Wednesday, the 31st of January, Kitsap County, and it is time for tipping points and puzzle pieces. Today's episode will be a little bit different than they have been in the recent past. We're going to be talking about the event coming up on February 9th called Stone Soup. We're going to talk about why, we're going to talk about how, we're going to talk about what will happen there, because it's important for you to know what this is about, because it's really easy to ignore things that come across, Facebook and all of the other social media sites. It's easy to walk by and ignore flyers and windows and on bulletin boards because we've been trained to do that. And COVID made it much harder to reach out and connect to people. The only successful way to connect to people is to hand them paper and talk to them about it. So this is the virtual connecting with you. As much as I would like to meet up with you folks, like at Cups Cafe on Sunday, where we will be. Come talk to us, get to know us. But I'm going to start off with talking about Stone Soup. I'm going to try this out because with this camera, I'm not sure. Stone Soup is a children's story, ostensibly, though I would question, one of the or two of the settings. It's probably been rewritten in a dozen different ways, written by different people. The one we're talking about is Marsha Brown's version of it. Let's talk about what it is, okay? Marsha Brown's version of it talks about three soldiers who were, at the time, I believe, the Napoleonic Wars, and they were separated from the army, and they were hungry and trying to get back, and they came into a village and asked the villagers for food, and the villagers barely opened the doors and would not give them any food, so the soldiers had all taken the food. They didn't have anything to give. And so what happened is one of the soldiers said, listen, I know the village is hungry. I know we're all suffering in this together. And we're strangers to the village and you don't want to give us food. So I'm going to do something my grandmother taught me to do and her grandmother before her. And that's to make stone soup, and we'll feed the entire village. If someone could loan us a very large cauldron to cook the soup in, we will make soup for the village. And the villagers are going, stone soup, what's that? Craziness. But they gave them a cauldron. The soldier went down to the river and filled it with river water and found this beautiful river rock to bring into it and put it in the center of it, lit a fire under it, and started getting it hot and getting ready to boil. And it had been boiling for about 30 minutes. And imagine this is a large cauldron, big enough for an entire village to eat out of. And it was in the center of the town square. So slowly the villagers came out and were looking in it because, the idea of being fed was a really important thing. And so the soldiers were making a big deal about the soup and how it's going to be great, and making, telling people how they're going to fill their bellies and they will have the most wondrous soup ever. And the villagers started asking, well, when's it going to get done? It says, very soon, very soon. But you know something? It would be better with a carrot. And a villager runs off and grabs a carrot or a couple of carrots. And then they come back and smell the carrots cooking. And said, oh, an onion would be fabulous. And somebody run off and get an onion, and then some beef bones would be really good in here. And somebody brings back some beef bones. And for those of you who don't cook, beef bones are like bones with the marrow in the middle and some pieces of meat around the outside that are kind of usually left over from the cuts, but they're considered soup bones so that you can put them in. And it cooks the meat off, and the marrow cooks into the soup and thickens it, and it tastes really good. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and the villagers ran off and got a little bit of these things from each of their houses. And suddenly you had this enormous cauldron of soup that was just so rich and thick, and the fragrances were making everybody's stomachs grumble, and they were just amazed by it. And the soldier said, and this is stone soup. And everybody bring your bowls, everybody bring your spoons, and let's serve this up to you. And the village ate, and actually the village ate for a week off of this stone soup. So the moral of the story could be that the soldier was very clever and conned the people out of their food, which is very much the toxic culture type of answer we would come up with today. But the real story is, the lesson learned here is that everybody gives a little bit, everybody thrives. And that is the message of Stone Soup. So how does that translate into the event on the 9th? Well, everyone's supposed to bring their bowls and their spoons. so that they can eat the soup. Everyone's supposed to bring an ingredient for the soup so that they can all enjoy the soup. And as we go, everyone will share what is made. And it's about community coming together and talking to each other and getting to know the breadth and diversity of our community. And people who don't know each other starting to talk to each other, people who do know each other reconnecting. And at its very core, if that's all we did at Stone Soup, it would be a roaring success and it would be everything we could possibly hope it would be. But we're doing a little bit more. Well, first of all, I need to tell you that Chef Chris now, one of our local chefs, and a fairly renowned one as well, will be making the soups. And Chris loves a creative challenge. He is looking forward to whatever ingredients showing up and making something from it. He's just like really happy about that idea. And he wants, to give to the community and understand that how community comes together and supports everybody. And then we're going to be talking a little bit about the Kitsap Resiliency Project, which is, and I'm the executive director of Resilient Ecosystems. Our job is to create resilient community projects wherever they are needed. We started to proof of concept here in Kitsap County because it's a really tough place to get community built. We have a wide, diverse crowd of people here. The Navy folks that come and go. We have the commuter traffic, people that go coming back and forth. We have very well-off people. We have very poor people. We have a wide range of people here in Kitsap County, and we don't really have a lot of cohesive community. Now, someone will say, well, we have a community. We know our neighbors. We do this. That's rare. That's very rare here. And we need to bring people together because we need to do better than we are doing. And so Stone Soup is a stepping stone in that direction. Now, a couple other things are going to be going on there. One is we will be having some tables there that will be teaching about community gardening, soil health, and food security and how to create food security. A lot of you have looked at the page and seen the gentleman holding up the sign talking about teaching kids to grow in school so they know where the food comes from and build, a food community, food security, food forests, however you want to say it, whatever words work for you, ways to make sure that everybody gets fed. Now, I can go downer on you and talk about, how food is at risk and everything else, but we kind of know that. I mean, the big news from California about the avian flu and chickens and turkeys and eggs at risk again. This is going to continue to go on. There's all kinds of issues around these things. So let's build some security together by growing food locally and making sure that we have the ability to feed each other no matter who we are. That's part of what we're going to be talking about. We will have a table talking about water so you understand the reality of water and how we have to be more demanding about how water is treated. We have to be more demanding about how water is delivered. We have to be more demanding about knowing what water there is and is not. Because without water, we don't live. Without water, we don't grow food. It's very important. So we will be talking about water and food. So they kind of go hand in hand. We will be talking about shelter and some ways of thinking about things that we haven't before. Now, none of this is putting a rubber stamp on a solution and telling you what to do. These are frameworks in which we are inviting you to give your input, to bring your thoughts to the table so that we can have a bigger picture and determine the best way moving forward that makes the most sense for all of us. It also will give us the ability to make changes that need to be changed because we will have what's called a grassroots network of people who are working toward a better human future. Okay? So we will be doing that. We will be talking about renewable energy. We'll talk about the realities of it, what needs to change to make it actually functional for everybody. We will be talking about resiliency projects in general and why we're focusing on this and why you should care and why working together makes it easy. All of this while we're eating delicious soup. Now, we'll also have a few other people there. We'll have, we don't have confirmations yet, so I can't tell you who they are. But we are going to have some folks around the area that are experts in their field that will be setting up tables and talking to you about community services and ways to look at things, how to engage. These are all good things. Okay, so the other thing that's going to happen is we're going to be doing some recognizing. We need to know what businesses in our community are community faced, what businesses go above and beyond. Businesses that care about you, that when you go in and you give them your money to get a service from them, you know you've gotten that service or that product, and that they care about whether it works, whether it doesn't work, how you use it, and make sure that you are being taken care of, which I hate to say should be just normal business. But in this world of corporate boxes and box stores and everything else, we don't get that. We get, here it is, go. And these people are amazing people. There's no financial reward for them. There is no big prize for them doing this. They just do it because it's the right thing to do. And they do it well, and they do it for everybody. So we will be announcing 12 businesses in the area that we will be recognizing. We have 4 nonprofits that we will also be recognizing that go above and beyond, and probably you've never heard of them. So we want to make sure that you know that, and that you're there for that. We'll also be talking about 2 and recognizing 2 service providers who you may not know how far above and beyond they go. So be there for that, because these people deserve recognition. They deserve your support, and you need to know who they are so that you can you can go to them and get your needs met and be taken care of. So that's all of Stone Soup this year. Next year, it will be bigger because, as I've said before, this is now going to be an annual event. This is the first in 6 years, so we're hoping everybody shows up and supports it going into the future, because it's going to be a really beautiful thing. We are going to continue helping you grow community. We are going to be continuing going above and beyond to make sure that Kitsap County has the ability and the capacity to thrive through anything. And the beautiful thing for us is we work this here with you folks, with all of you folks, with all of the beautiful neighbors and friends that we have in Kitsap County. We can make it happen anywhere. And we will be capturing what we do, and we will offer it to any community who wants to connect with us, and we will help them get a program going where they are. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a minute and think about what the future would look like if we had close communities wherever you lived that were resilient communities that grew their own food, helped each other, had renewable energy, had clean water, and knew how to recycle it, how to care for it, how to make sure everything worked right. And they worked together to do this. And we've got more and more of those until more and more people are in the country. We're creating human communities, human supportive communities, working together to make sure that everyone is taken care of. It's overwhelming for one. It is impossible for organizations and agencies to do. But together, 266,000 people on this peninsula, if we get 20% of them working together, we will change the face of Kitsap, and everybody will thrive. And that's just the truth. There are opportunities here for industries to be built that are clean industries that feed people. There are opportunities here for all kinds of beautiful things to happen, but it requires you coming to the table. So in this case, quite literally the table with your bowl and your spoon to get some beautiful soup and to bring an ingredient for the soup so that everybody is fed. And that's the beautiful thing. Now, I will be putting a link to the ingredients list and the flyer in the below in the YouTube video. So if you go there and you find it, you'll be able to get a link to it, and you'll be able to register for the event on Facebook, and you'll be to please let us know. And I want to say something really quick about that. The room holds 250 people. That's when the fire marshal gets involved. So we are very careful about that, but we have no idea who's coming. People are reticent to say they're coming on Facebook, but then they show up. They show up with or without ingredients, but they will be fed. So bring extra. We're going to start off with a base amount and bring more. Please bring your bowls and spoons. If you can, bring a few extra in case somebody doesn't bring theirs. And this is kind of the community thing. We are all trying to make sure everybody is taken care of. We unfortunately can't go above 250, and we don't know how many are there going to be there. We hope we're close to limit because it's that kind of event. The more people there, the more people we can talk to, the more people can get to know each other, the more we start growing a more human community. I don't know what else to say about it except that it is something I think most of you have never experienced in your life, and I'm hoping that you come and find a truly beautiful experience here. We are working very hard in the background to make this work, and overcoming together, which is kind of the whole point of this. So please welcome and come to Stone Soup. Enjoy yourself. You'll get to meet Marwan and me there. You can ask us questions. You can even call us idiots if you like. I don't care as long as we get a chance to talk to you and ask why you think so and maybe change your mind. You're going to meet the board of directors. You're going to meet some people that are just engaged in it, in this whole process. It's going to be a beautiful thing. So please come to Stone Soup. It's on February 9th. It's at the West Side Improvement Club on E and National in Bremerton. It goes from 6 till 9 p.m. And bring something to share with people. And let's have a good time together. Let's build community. Thank you for your time. Sorry this is a short one. I'm sorry Marwan unfortunately is under the weather and he's not here. So otherwise we would be discussing it and probably being a lot more entertaining than me talking. But thank you for your time, and I hope to see you a week from Friday. Good afternoon.